Previously on Persona 5 Strikers.
Mr. Konoe, the Emma app developed by your company Medice has become immensely popular all around the world.
You're not Akechi. Stop trying to be a... You're trying so hard. You're wearing that checkered jacket and pants, but you're trying to make it look casual by wearing a t-shirt, rolling up your sleeves and... Like, dude, you are trying too hard.
With Japan's creative industries starting to reach their limits, it's wonderful to hear about such a remarkable breakthrough in AI technology. I hear many have high expectations for you as a leading figure in this country, Mr. Konoe.
Look how he's sitting.
Yes.
Hoodie Kuma looks like a homeless person. What? It's quite pixelated. Pixelated is fine as long as it's moving. Can barely see my face. That's fine. That's fine. The stream is supposed to be pixelated. Forget about the pixelation. The question is the video working? Make it a very small window. Make it very small. Make it very small. Pretend it's 360p. Make the window very small and let me know if it's at least smooth. Everything's working? It is moving. So the video's playing clearly, but the video quality is really low. That's fine. We can live with that. We can work with that. We can work with smooth video that's really low quality. That's fine. That at least means I can play it live and then just upload the Let's Play. I mean, that's what all this is about. Fuck. Mike was muted. All right. What I was saying is, the best part is, I have no blinds, I have no curtains. So there's people outside walking in front of the house looking at me like I'm some sort of exhibit. Here we see the present day generation on a Saturday morning. In shorts, in an Adidas jacket with spiked hair, playing video games in front of the camera. To them, I must look like some sort of abomination. They can see the nicely sort of semi-decorated background and the screen and literally everything on the corner of the room. I'm looking at a dozen bags filled with stuff because I haven't fully unpacked yet. As I'm saying time and time again, they've scheduled to commence work mid-June, end of June. Scheduled. Keyword being scheduled. Keyword being the government scheduled. Keywords being the government. And we all know how the government operates. They overpromise, underdeliver. It costs more than they thought, and they still manage to fuck it up. So let's just make it work until we get this all sorted. All right, we're live. I'm live. Is this the right angle? I kind of wanted it to be like that, so at the very least the sun doesn't overpower, and that you can see Mr. Monokuma when I do that, and you can see Pedro Bear and all that stuff. So when you're watching this layout, you should be able to see like all of the things. It's gonna look better. It's gonna look better. If PewDiePie can stream and create videos out of an empty room for 3 months and then jump out of a cupboard, I could stream in a semi-decorated room for a couple of weeks. I think I've actually earned that. So, you know, let's just jump straight into it. let's just jump straight into it. Infiltrate the castle. Last time we played was on the 25th. That is like a month ago. Wait, that's the in-game date, not out-of-game date. Okay, maybe not a month ago. Maybe like a week ago. 2 weeks ago? Would you settle for 2 weeks ago? I would settle for 2 weeks ago. No, it was a week ago. We only skipped Anime Monday. All right, let's do this. This is acceptable. We only missed one live stream. That's fine. That's fine. And we are back in Kyoto, ladies and gentlemen. My God, I need to get my butt to Japan. Oh, yes! I remember now. Boom. We did all the shadows. Are they called shadows? Powerful shadows? Challenge shadows? Overpowered shadows? Whatever you want to call them. We did it. We killed bugs. We killed all the other ones that we can kill. We did all those challenge missions. Dire shadows, that's the one. We did all the dire shadows we could do. We did all the bonus objectives we can do. We're rich. We're level 60. We're leveled. We should be good. And we're here to fight the boss of Osaka. So we should be good to go. If I recall, our personas are looking pretty sexy. Why am I doing it this way? Level 29. Let's ignore that. We've even got this one, level 53 from last time. And we're level 60. And I think our party... Yeah, look at these levels. Guys, Vitaba's level 60. Joker's level 60. 58, 57, 53, 50, 57, 50, 54, 53. Now, I don't remember what the strategy was for the boss. Let me think. He's a techie. I might just go with what's powerful. Yusuke, you are powerful, but you're like 7 levels low. I might... Shit, who's gonna be good? Morgana's a healer, and he's a Pikachu. And Makoto hits like a truck. We're practically ready for the Elite Four, guys. Well, you should be able to do the Elite Four at level 40, but it's just going to cost you all your money in healing items. The first time you do the Elite Four, guys. Nah, the first time you actually do the Elite Four, you literally you just crawl past the finish line. You try it, you get your butt kicked, and finally you beat the first person. And then you get to the second person, you're like, hang on, my Pokemon don't get to heal? And then you realize you lose half your money every time you lose. So you use it as a training session of you buy up all the items, you go in, you fight the first person. If you win, you fight the second person. You get knocked out, you only have half your winnings, but you invest all that money into more healing items, and you rinse and repeat until you're a high enough level that you can actually defeat the Elite Four. You grind on the Elite Four. My God, the PTSD is returning already. All right. Is all the sound good? Is all the video good? I'm double checking. Microphone seems to be working. Sound seems to be working. Let's do this shit.
Let's get to work.
All right, let's get out the hideout. Am I sort of doing this right? There you go. I'm sort of on the middle. Can I do this? If I do that, yeah, I'm sort of creating myself a wider angle. Or because of Pokemon events, you have all level 100 Pokemon and blow the E4 up. Man, when I was playing Pokemon, there were no Pokemon events. I'm in Australia. We didn't have any Pokemon events. I'm loving the Kuma with the fish. We couldn't even get to Mirage Island or any of the other islands in Ruby and Sapphire because Australia didn't have any of the events. I literally had to go to a Pokemon tournament. And Australia doesn't really hold Pokemon tournaments, but there was a Pokemon tournament at the time. And I had Emerald Edition. And I went to the Pokemon tournament. And I was too late to register for the tournament to actually compete and, battle. But I was there and I was meeting people. And I had, all my leveled up Pokemon and all that shit. And I traded with a person. And then I ended up seeing that a person had a shiny Rayquaza, which was a black Rayquaza. I'm like, shit, I gotta get my hands on that. And then I met this other guy that was actually handing out Mews. Like, literally, he was trading people Mew for whatever Pokemon he was missing in his Pokedex. And I had that Pokemon that evolves from that really ugly fish that appears in one stream of water, and you have to spend like 8 hours fishing for it to get it. So I had that Pokemon, and I also had the one that evolves from it when you get it max beauty. That's the one. Milotic. Yeah, Feebas and Milotic. So I basically traded him a Milotic in exchange for Mew, as well as how he got it without the event ticket. And apart from the answer being that he hacked the game, the little shit, he also knew how to duplicate. So I learned from him how to duplicate. So I ended up beating him at his own game by duplicating other Pokemon that I had that the other people didn't have, as well as the Mew. So he had the Milotic. So while I was sitting there duplicating Milotic, I was going around trading Mew as well as whatever other rare Pokemon people wanted that I could duplicate. So I was basically trading 2-3 Pokemon for even rarer Pokemon. I ended up getting to that kid with the Black Rayquaza, getting the Black Rayquaza in exchange for a Mew and I think 4 or 5 other rare Pokemon. I think I traded the Black Rayquaza for a Mew. What's that Pokemon that's in outer space? The one with the really sharp legs that changes its form and stats depending on the game. That one, as well as like another event Pokemon. Deoxys, that's the one. As well as another event Pokemon. So I basically traded a shiny Rayquaza for 3 rare Pokemon that you couldn't even get in Australia. And the kid accepted. So I had my hands on the actual Black Rayquaza. Not a duplicated one, but the actual one. So then at that moment, I had the rarest Pokemon at that entire place. Then I started duplicating it. And then that kid who actually taught me how to duplicate and the Mew wanted it. And I'm like, all right, cool. I need a Milotic back as well as like all this following other shit because he filled up his Pokedex that day. So I basically had my pick of the litter. So I ended up trading him back the Black Rayquaza for the Milotic, which I originally traded, as well as other shit. So I had all this good shit. Then when I went back to school, I was in high school at the time. All these people were like, oh, you went to a Pokemon tournament, all that stuff, you're geeky. I'm like, I don't give a shit. And people actually found out I had a Black Rayquaza in high school. And then people in high school started approaching me, you know, like one by one in secret, because they didn't want people to secretly know that they actually played Pokemon. And they really wanted a Black Rayquaza, as well as all the other cool shit that I had. And I was like, oh, really? I thought Pokemon was shit and all this other stuff. It's like, oh, no, I secretly played and shit. I'm like, hey, that's cool. $50 each. He's like, what? And I'm like, if you want a Mew, $50. If you want a Deoxys, $50. If you want a Black Rayquaza, $150. They didn't know how to duplicate. This was at a time when even the internet didn't know how to duplicate. This was when that duplication glitch in Emerald had just been discovered. So I had all these random kids buying Pokemon off me for $50 each. Each! Made several $1,000s. It's good shit. It was on that day that I became a dirty capitalist. A filthy capitalist. But it was good. And the best part was, the people that were making fun of me for going to the tournament are the very people that paid me $50 per Pokemon. Suck it. It's kind of funny. You make fun of someone, and then you end up paying for it, literally. Gotta love it. Meanwhile, you just use cheat devices. Well, at that time, Game Sharks and Action Replays weren't available in Australia. You had to literally import them. And most people in my high school didn't really buy stuff from overseas because you gotta realize that Amazon wasn't a thing. It wasn't that popular. Amazon was America mostly. And delivery to Australia of anything was expensive. It was like $20, $30 per item shipping to Australia. And you gotta realize these are high school kids that think everything online is a scam. So very few people, one, knew about the stuff, and two, were willing to take the risk to buy something online that might not ever come. My first shiny that I caught was a shiny Ursaring, which is a big bear, and he was green. And the second shiny that I saw, and you're gonna laugh at this, I was replaying, I think, Sapphire Edition or Ruby when I bought it, because I didn't have an Action Replay, but from all that money that I made, I could afford to, you know, buy additional games and shit, because I never played Ruby at that time and I wanted to play it, so I bought it. And in the starting area, you know, when you help the professor and then you go to the store for the first time when you have your level 5 Pokemon, I think it's called a Zigzagoon. It came up, and it was a shiny. And I had no Pokeballs. The first fucking Pokemon to spawn was a shiny fucking Zigzagoon. And I couldn't even catch it. I was just heartbroken. I love reading everyone's first shinies. But yeah, so that's my dirty capitalism story. And going by the fact that no one's complained about the video quality, that means we're all set to go. We're all set to go. So let's use the shop really quickly and get ready. But yeah, that's the sort of thing. And I'm sort of hoping now that I don't have to drive for 40 minutes to an hour twice a week, and I can actually do things for the rest of the day instead of, you know, being oh my god, 99. Jesus, what is this, Pokemon? Being somewhere where I can actually do things after the stream, life is going to be a lot better because I'm actually at home now. I have a Pokemon Crystal cartridge, but still was not born in that generation. I remember the internal clock in Gold and Silver when it stopped working, and the whole day-night cycle just went to shit, because the clock inside Game and Silver is actually run off an internal battery. There's actually a battery in the cartridge. And when that battery runs out, the internal clock in the game just dies. And I remember doing my rounds every day of flying from one area to the other, picking up the berries and the fruit from the trees, planting new ones. Not planting new ones, but you just pick them up. And you go to all the places and pick up all of the fruit, and then you take it to that old guy and he turns them into balls. But hands down, that game had one of the best Team Rocket themes ever. The Team Rocket theme that plays when you're in the radio tower is just amazing. Oh, come on! Oh, come on! What do you mean the camera stopped? How? What do you mean the camera turned off? Why? Because I wasn't using the camera cable that came with it. I was using a phone cable because it's a micro USB. And the problem was that it wouldn't reach. So I gave it a phone cable. And it was on all night without an issue. And now it developed this issue. And now it's doing this. Now it's like literally cutting. Which ain't good. I know. We'll fix the audio. That's not the problem. I gotta literally unplug this so it feeds back to the micro HDMI. Shouldn't be doing this.
Having trouble deciding?
There we go. Yeah, battery exhausted. Well, no shit, the battery's exhausted. I know the battery's exhausted, but I don't want you using the USB cable as data transfer. I want you using the micro HDMI. The micro HDMI, damn you. Give me a sec.
Having trouble deciding?
There you go. You're live. Now, why aren't you appearing on the webcam device? There you go. Now I'm appearing. The fuck is this? What is this even doing?
Having trouble deciding?
I mean, that's better. Why are you not... Oh, I see. I
trouble
see.
deciding?
Horizontally. Yep. And I want you to go to manual. Bam. Okay, now you're not going to keep refocusing. And now... No, that's the wrong one. There we go. For the win. And then... Oh. I physically move you. Yes. Now, why are you zoomed? No, the other way. What do you mean you can't zoom out? Oh, okay, I see what you did. So in that case, I'll do this. Yes! Yes! Good. Alright, that's good. I do this. And if I'm here, I'm actually just sitting on the corner, so I gotta physically move you like that. So I'm like in the middle. Yes, okay. Okay. You can't turn up the mic volume because then it gets all quality bad. It's just because of Sophia's music. That's what happens. Because the game plays by its own rules. Shut up, Sophia. Okay. Now guys, I need to have an ice cream to make myself feel better. That was a very traumatic thing. I'm having an ice cream to make myself feel better. My whole life. What else could go wrong at this point? Song requests open for the next game. You just have to remind me. Alright, we're in. Let's do this.
Alright. Keep your guard up.
Copyright infringement song! There it is. It's gonna get claimed for copyright infringement because apparently people are gonna watch a 6 to 8 hour live stream to hear one song. And thank you, Japan. Guys, please, just stop claiming the video. I know you're gonna review my use of it. Please, just stop claiming it. Let me finish this ice cream and we'll jump in. I'll have to edit this part out anyway because of the song.
Sensing no shadows just yet.
Let's see.
Okay, that'll work. Alright, we're good. We should be okay. Unless he's immune to nuclear, wind, and electricity. Beheading axe? An axe said to be the preferred tool of seasoned executioners? Excuse me? A weapon capable of inducing despair? What the fuck? Okay, we have some new people. Welcome, new people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Code 11, I won't ask what the code is for because spoilers. I feel better after that ice cream. I'm still a little kid on the inside. I will never change. I will never change. Oh crap. My hands are sticky. I better wash them now. Damn it, who taught Hutton to negotiate like that? Yo, well, I was just eating an ice cream, guys. I washed my hands before the ice cream. How do I wash my hands during eating an ice cream? Yeah. That is just insane. Okay. Let's hope we don't get NRG to death. This should be interesting. Are we going to fight what's his name from Devil May Cry 3? Credo, maybe? Or are we going to fight Darth Vader? I forgot what their weaknesses were and were not. I don't think we'll need it though. Maybe, maybe not. Oh yeah, this will just tell me what their weakness is. Okay. So you're weak to curse. What about you? Right, you're weak to nuclear. And you're also weak to curse. They seem to be weak to curse and nuclear. Interesting. I need a heal, guys.
Let's go. Take this.
Okay, I'm a little rusty with the controls.
Be gone.
Good. Good, good, good. Keep giving me enemies so I can get my control scheme back. Yes, square is attack. Dodge him.
Take this.
Boom. Wait, Morgana's SP is not full yet. Shite, he actually will. Alright, it's fine.
Looks like you can jump on those. Use them right and we'll run circles around the enemy.
Oh, he got a level. Ooh, she got a new nuclear. Alright, we should be okay.
Guess that hero show or whatever's wrapped up. I wonder what it was like. Kind of curious, honestly.
Oh, you want to go see one sometime? We can go to a Featherman show.
No, no Featherman. Alright, see ya, Anonymous. See ya, Christian. Oh, wait. Christian is the one leaving, not Anonymous.
Once we get in the castle, we're headed straight for the roof. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Alright, let's hope the rust has fallen off. By the way, that dagger is so evil.
Alright, the coast is clear. Let's make a break for the top.
I'm kinda surprised how easy it was to get inside.
Easy. We just had to do a whole dungeon.
A little quiet for a castle. That's not normal, is it?
It's a twap!
I don't think so. I've got a bad feeling about this. This is usually when everything goes wrong.
Futaba, if you knew the day we've been having so far.
What's this light?
And it's a twap.
It's so pretty. But what is it doing?
Whatever it's doing, it can't be good.
Isn't this the very thing that happened in the last jail? And it's happening again. They don't learn, do they?
Intruders detected. Executing forced removal.
Wait, is this thing a teleporter?
It's a freaking trap! We gotta bail!
Bail away, you're already caught in it.
Wait, Skull, if you try to leave the circle, you'll get ripped apart?
You gotta be shitting me!
What? What happened?
We're in a jail. Within a jail. Within a jail.
It seems we've been forcibly teleported somewhere.
I don't feel so good. I think I'm warp sick.
What, so we're locked up? Ah, man, I feel like getting caught's all we ever do anymore.
Aren't teleporters technically impossible? Wouldn't your cell structure be broken down and then reconstructed at the other area? Which means you're not actually being teleported, you're being killed, disassembled, and reassembled again. So you cease to exist on one end, and the person on the other end is just you with your memories, not actually you. That's a form of death, isn't it? That's a scary concept.
We have to get out of here, and quickly.
So the Phantom Thieves technically died. And were reborn.
Hey, just try to stay calm. In times like these, the best thing to do is to carefully check your surroundings.
The door's open on the other side. I wonder if there's a way for us to get over there.
I wonder if Johnny's on guard duty. I am literally in jail.
Focus.
Love it. Okay, let's see if I can fake sickness. Nope, it didn't work. Maybe if we just walk up to the door. Nope. Okay. Ooh, it has a toilet. And a bed.
Focus.
And a place to jump. How convenient.
There's a treasure chest. Maybe we should peek inside.
Why is there a treasure chest in your jail cell again? Don't question it, Kuma, just go with the flow. Okay. I wonder if Meryl's in one of these. Vague file list? What does that have to do with anything?
Stay alert. I wonder what this is.
What would Harry Stickmin do? Distraction dance! It's funny, I was trying to explain that to Hutchin yesterday because I just started doing a distraction dance. Just like, the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, it's a distraction dance.
It's this one, right?
Show me your true
on him.
self.
Time for a wild beatdown. This is a piece of cake.
These fish people are either weak to electricity or immune to electricity. Alright, win.
Queen Makarama, Nog, Principal, Mitra, are set.
Focus your attacks around that. Hey,
Jesus, I'm getting smacked.
getting wrecked out there.
I know I'm getting wrecked. I'm getting chained, which is worse than getting wrecked.
Nice, go. Running out of steam now. Time to pull out all the stops.
Fuck it.
Take this!
Leave that one to me. Yeah, here we go.
Put in work!
Sweet, we got him.
Let's keep chugging along.
Shadow's here. Be careful, everyone.
I love that sound. So cute! Morgana's adorable. I love how the jail has vulnerable glass. What are you
doing? You go for it?
Got this for sure.
Great. Show your right. Witness right from this.
Oh! So good.
Let up. Finish him off.
I can't even see who I'm hitting with the truck, but all I know is I'm running people over. And they died. Kuma, people die when they're
than
killed.
cleaning a paintbrush.
Good stuff, guys. Keep it coming.
Ooh, what does this go? Ooh, this looks like a
Worry about
secret.
here, I think.
Oh no, this probably takes us to where we need to go. Hey. Oh, okay. No, wait, that's the other way. Okay, let's go this way. Oh wait, this goes to the right. Wait, what? That's not the way I want to go. Where are you taking me? Wait, what? There was a vent from one room to... What? What was the point of that? Oh, there's another vent. Well, that was surprisingly easy.
Easy victory ahead.
All right. Persona. Counting on you.
I'll try. This is my other self.
Well, it's not doing shit. But why are they all using their SP without my provision? They must be healing. Damn, she does a lot of damage with these things. Shit, Makota's hitting like a truck.
I want to check that out.
That's her triangle.
I
Jesus.
give it a 5 out of 10.
Shut up, Futaba, don't wreck this. Can we open this door? Oh, that's easy.
How did you escape? Quit resisting and come quietly!
I'm sorry, but you have a minigun. I mean, come on.
Whoops, looks like we got company.
What is this, Star Wars?
So these are the jerks that sprung the trap on us?
I mean, you sprung the trap on yourselves.
I guess we should say thanks. Quit resisting and get stomped.
And Ryuji grows up to be a police officer in America. I'm trying to screenshot. Thank you. Oh damn, the nuclear attacks heal that guy. What about this guy? No, they don't.
Nuclear attacks won't work, but it's not that strong. Handle it.
Love how they just say handle it. It's like,
No
okay.
enemies nearby. Let's go on ahead.
It's a gauntlet, but I've got 2 healers.
This elevator looks like it'll take us up, but they've got it on lockdown.
There must be a mechanism to release it somewhere. See if we
Hey.
can find it.
Elevator releasing mechanism. I love how the security room is unlocked though.
This must be the security room.
How much you want to bet I'm gonna have to guard Futaba?
It looks like we can unlock that elevator from here.
So if we release the lock, we'll be able to keep going up. Can you hack it, Oracle?
Of course. Just give me the word. Don't forget to cover my 6.
Ah, Futaba, you're classic. Definitely. Definitely Futaba
All right,
for you.
checking in. Make sure you back me up.
Wait, I should be using Morgana.
Leave it to me. Witness my perfection.
Meow, meow, meow. I mean, it's healing one of them, but... Oh, fuck, they're getting resisted. Alright. I get the feeling that nuclear is not going to work in this place. But we'll find that out the hard way. And Joker's already got his showtime. This works. Futaba needs a heal. 68 and 40. Jesus. Jesus, that's expensive. Jesus Christ, that's gonna be expensive. Stop!
Let me get that one. Queen, you go on skin. Don't do anything
Some of them are weak to nuclear, the other one's actually immune and is absorbing. Did I just say for real? Oh, I must be pressing turn one.
Big attack incoming! Brace yourself! And voila! Thanks for the backup, everyone!
We have good heals, but they are super expensive.
Not sensing any shadows. Okay,
Morgana and Makoto can maybe do 3 heals. They'll heal everyone to 100%, but they'll be ooh. So, damn. Damn. Alright, what's this? This is... I mean, we must be an arsenal here or something.
Yes, elevator's working. Let's head on up.
Let's hope they're not immune to nuclear electricity
We should be
anyway.
able to ride all the way up to the top of it. Maybe we can even rest before we get there.
Guess that would have been a little too easy. Come on, let's greet our guests.
Here they come.
Lots of shadow breaches here. You guys are just gonna have to hold out. They're pitiful. Give them a dirt nap. Look at those, Skull.
Oh man, I'm getting smacked. I'm trying to do the Pikachu attack. I think it's square, square, square. Hold Pikachu. Oh, I'm doing the wrong one. Jesus, this is chaotic. Oh god, if I don't get rid of him. We're gonna drop to the bottom, aren't we? Oh no, that was the timer to get to the top. I thought that was the timer to kill all the enemies. We must be playing different games.
Okay.
This should expand our
If you're doing that in
tactical
DMC and you didn't defeat the enemies, the elevator will literally just drop to the bottom.
Seems we're quite a ways up.
Have we reached the roof yet?
If I'm a PlayStation 1 character lookalike, does that mean that I'm higher quality story-wise? I have to rely on more of my
Doesn't appear to be any
personality rather
danger
than my
present.
looks?
Stop! Picking up an enemy nearby. Oh, this one looks tough.
They're opposed to great hero AKIRA. My lightning will turn you into dust.
Doesn't that mean you're weak to wind? You must be weak to wind.
This is your chance. It's showtime. Witness my resolve. That in a hasty retreat. I think he needs help. Faster!
They killed Ryuji and Morgana! Almost.
The enemy's no pushover. Target its weakness to wind. It's more. Charge!
I really need to start using.
Someone heal it?
Holy shit!
Incoming attack! Brace yourself! No!
I am not having a good time right now. Yeah, I think we need to use a few items. We're gonna need items. Alright, the one that actually wakes me up. Full HP is useless. 50% works.
Thank you! Opponent's running out of stamina. Spend it wisely. This is it! Take this!
Man, she's just gonna get wrecked.
Fair warning! This one's gonna be rough! Take this! I'm sorry!
That's fine. I just needed you for your ammo.
Someone heal her up!
Damn it! If I... Jesus. Jesus Christ. Okay. Okay.
I appreciate it!
Not fully. 50% is fine.
Go, Hanachan, go! It's showtime!
Of course you can.
Mitra! Wapo! Hisaka! Pixie! Nord!
Mona's retreated! Someone heal her?
Take this!
Joker got in a follow-up attack! Powerful! You can exploit our weakness with psychokinesis! Here comes the blow! Not always in support.
How come I don't have any more things that I can throw? These ones are definitely gonna jump.
It's stronger than us, and curse won't work on it. Don't be intimidated.
Principality!
Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Wait, Principality doesn't do... Damn it!
Mind blowing as always, Joker. Joker.
Take this!
Incoming attack. Brace yourself. Don't have much health left. Hurry up and heal.
Persona! Naga! Kurama Tengu! Queen Ma!
Drop and use... Not wide, I just wanted one. Okay.
Strong enemy. Just like that.
Low SP is a killer. 1 million Dara!
It's an elevator.
So we have to go up even more?
He's complaining about using an elevator.
It looks really high. I can't even see the top.
Well, given Konoe's elevated opinion of himself, I'd say this is par for the course.
Guess we're going up then. We gotta get those desires back.
I was trying to save those show times, but you know what? I'll live with it.
Persona!
40. Fuck.
Nothing on my radar.
I think SP is more valuable than anything else. All right, salmon.
This one.
Cool. Let's just use the cheap potions. This is the all, so this should be like lifestone, 30%, 30%, 50%. Fully restore. Let's just use these old school things first.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
This one.
Red.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
This one. Okay.
Sorry.
There. Okay.
Thanks.
We won't use it
This
after
one.
this anyway.
This one.
Dizzy, sleep.
Okay. There. This one. Okay. There. Okay. There.
Sorry.
Cool. I'll get Kuma to spam SP at the beginning,
Looks like we're safe for
and
now.
then I can just revive everyone's SP straight away. Cool. Got a plan in place.
Everyone, look!
A birdcage. So this place has one too.
Every jail we've seen so far has.
But why would Konoe's jail possess one? Is he not the mastermind behind all this?
Dun dun dun! He's just another pawn.
I don't know. Konoe's supposed to be the one who created the jails.
But what if in creating the jails to keep other people captive, he secretly created walls around his own heart and made himself a prisoner of his own creation? Ah, that's too deep.
So he would have to know how they work. It wouldn't make sense otherwise. In which case, the only explanation is that he's trapped himself here with trauma of his own. Why would he do something like that?
Please tell me I'm not about to get kicked out of the jail after I spend all those items.
It could be necessary to creating a jail.
Does that mean Konoe's got some dark past too?
Don't we all?
A guy that confident? I don't know. Doesn't really fit his image, if you ask me.
What if that's not his true self? What if what you're seeing is the projection and the mask that he's wearing to show all of society, while on the inside he's very vulnerable and weak? What if he's just integrated his own self's shadow in that it's what you see outward and the inward is his actual real self? I mean, that would be quite interesting, wouldn't it? Yeah, you could tell I've been watching those psychological videos.
So what's the plan then?
Hit it till it dies.
You said we need a key if we want to open this thing, right?
That's correct. And we can get a hint as to its whereabouts by touching the birdcage.
Thank God I didn't use the SP items. Wait, I revived it. Damn it! Wait, I had my show times! You're up, Wolf.
Alright, sure. So I just touch this thing, right?
Good luck. Make sure you don't let go right away.
Don't go crying on us, Gramps.
Huh?
Oh, I feel so cruel.
Oof. Listen to that wolf howl.
I've heard stories of cries that could shake the heavens. Could this be one of them? It's almost operatic.
You guys don't even know, man. That shit seriously hurts.
Quiet! I hear something.
Abuse? Please, that's ridiculous.
Oh God, parental abuse.
We do have a dog. Maybe that's what they heard? Right, Akira?
Hey, whose voice is that?
I'm gonna guess Daddy.
It doesn't seem to be Konoe's. But he said Akira. Isn't that Konoe's first name?
Whether it was your dog or not, Konoe-san, We got a tip that you've been physically abusing your son.
Ding, 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 ding.
Apparently, Akira-kun has a scar on his arm to prove it.
A scar? So you literally broke the skin to a degree that it couldn't heal properly. The fuck is wrong with you?
Look, he fell over. How many times do I have to say it?
Oh yeah, he fell down a flight of stairs, huh?
Are we done here? I'd like to be left alone. You little shit! You see all this trouble you're causing me?
How has he not been arrested?
Keep your goddamn mouth shut and do as I say.
Well, that takes me back.
Damn. What the hell was that?
That was an abusive parent.
Konoe's past. We were viewing the trauma he keeps locked away in his heart.
Trauma?
There, there. Good boy. Who's a good wolf?
Wow, Futaba. Wow.
What am I, your pet? You guys could have warned me about that.
Well, it's not like you asked.
And loses 10 points.
I feel like I've heard that excuse before.
And loses 15 points. Sophia gets 10 points.
Yeah, from yourself.
Getting back on track, I heard one of the voices mention something about abuse.
Wait a minute. Sophia then loses 25 points.
Was Konoe abused by his father? That's terrible.
It's pretty messed up, but it doesn't justify all the skeevy shit he's been doing.
I mean, it doesn't, but you guys are the ones that are all dressing up as phantom thieves due to your own abuse, so I guess in a weird way, you could sort of understand it.
Indeed. What's past is past.
I mean, Yusuke, it took you a while to get over what happened to you too, so you should be able to understand it.
Nothing changes the fact that Akira Konoe is an incredibly dangerous man who changes others' hearts and robs them of their free will.
Okay, you make a valid point.
Right. We've got to stop it.
So if being abused is the source of his trauma, then what exactly is his plan here?
We abuse him till he stops. I mean, that's what we've been doing to all the other bosses, and it seems to be working.
I'm just gonna have to ask him about it. Up close and personal.
With a baseball bat.
Yeah, but first, we need the key to the birdcage.
What is it, a belt?
Let's head back to the real world and try to find the source of that voice.
Or just look for his father.
Hey, Joker? Was Konoe really treated badly by his own father?
Yes, it is surprisingly more common than you would know.
Senkichi and Akane were on bad terms, but nothing like that ever happened between them. Why did that happen to Konoe? Aren't they family?
Well, Konoe's father was probably abused while he was a child, and so is just perpetuating that cycle of abuse that happens from one generation to the other because he has no way of expressing his emotions because he was never brought up properly. So what ends up happening is one generation passes it on to the next and the cycle continues and continues and continues. Some hearts are filled with hate. Well, hate stems from pain and sadness. So it's not just hate. It's a little more complex than that. Hate is just the symptom of a much bigger problem. I don't know, that is a lie. There could be a lot of reasons. That's probably the closest thing to the truth.
So some humans are just like that then. Joker, do you think family is important?
I wouldn't be able to tell you that, considering I never really had a functioning one. And I seem to have turned out just fine. Sort of. With a few issues here and there. Maybe a little rough around the edges with those car battery things. Can't say I've thought about it.
I see. So it comes to you so naturally that you don't even have to think about it? If I ever get family or friends, I want to support them as much as I can.
Why do I feel a little bit awkward right now?
I learned that from the Phantom Thieves. I wonder how Konoe must have felt back then.
Well. Yeah, let's not go into that.
Hey, come on, you two, let's get going!
Sorry to keep you waiting. Let's go, Joker.
Wow, this is gonna get really, I lost my items! What am I going to do? I lost like 20 10 HP items. My day is ruined. You wouldn't believe how many people genuinely believe that because they suffered through something as a kid, that their kids should suffer the same thing. You would think that people that went through a terrible experience would actually overcorrect in that they were so traumatized by the experience that they want to prevent that from happening to someone else at all costs. And they become overly protective and over-nurture their kids, which is better than abuse, but in a way, it's not really good for them either, you know? Because you still need to instill the discipline of what is right and wrong into children. You just need to do it in a constructive way that doesn't actually hurt them, you know? There still needs to be that mechanism of reward and punishment for a kid that's still learning the ropes without the punishment being a literal beating. Nobody wants to admit that they are messed up, so when they are raised terribly, they just justify it with, well, after all that, I turned out just fine, so it must work. Because they don't want to admit that the trauma affected them. I mean, I am aware that my upbringing has affected me in many ways. I'm quite aware of it. It's just that most people bury that so deep and try to ignore it, but don't realize that it's had more impact on them than they will ever know, because their entire personality and outlook on life is mostly determined while you're growing up. They say that about 70-80% of your personality develops by the time you hit 7 years of age. And those years are crucial because you're surrounded, well, most of the time, by two adults. And so you pretty much absorb their habits, their day-to-day mannerisms, how they treat each other, how they interact with other people. You know, that's why the home environment is so important. And if that home environment is just filled with violence and negativity and all these terrible things, what do you think the child is going to absorb? I mean, a kid is virtually a blank slate. You're building a human being from a blank slate, and you're determining what type of person you're setting them up to become. Just because they spent 7 years in the beginning, you can't just say, oh, well, we can fix them in 10 years. It doesn't work like that. Their foundation is already built. Undoing all of that is very difficult, especially when they're young, because they don't know how to process all the emotions, all the feelings. They're not at that stage. It's a very tricky situation. That's why when kids do something bad, like say for example, a kid steals a candy bar or something, right? That doesn't mean they're going to become a criminal or they believe that stealing is justified. It's probably that they don't understand it or they don't know how the other person on the other end feels. And it's very easy to undo if you catch it early enough, you know? Whereas if you ignore it or you just beat the shit out of the kid for it, they'll probably just learn to not get caught. Or they'll start hating the parents or the authority figures for beating them for it. So they just get better at avoiding it. That's when you get problems. It's so complicated. She wants me to work, but with everything, and buys me food every week. But when I ask she stops spending $4 a week on me and give me $5 a month, it becomes too expensive and criticizes me on the things I buy, which most of the time cost $10, even though she's okay spending $300 on subbuff food for Facebook. Well, yeah. Yeah. She's justified it in her head that she's right, and that she knows best, even though clearly she does not. My situation was a bit different in that I had food to eat, but I wasn't really given anything else, so as soon as I hit 15, I started working. And then I had my own money to do what I needed to do with it. And then I became a filthy capitalist because I realized earning $10 an hour working at the back of a restaurant wasn't going to get me enough cash to do everything that I needed. So I became a capitalist and I started selling things to people. You know, whether they be video game saves or duplicating Pokemon or, you know, rare trading cards. I just found ways to make enough money that I could actually stand on my own feet. So when I had to actually remove myself from a very toxic and dangerous environment when I was 18, 19, I had the financial means to do so. I had a little bit of a buffer. And then even though I worked 2, you know, jobs while I was studying uni, I could actually remove myself from that environment. You became a dirty capitalist? I did. I became a very dirty capitalist. Based on the voices, it's pretty clear we're headed to Konoe's childhood home. Takechi's tracking the address right now. Considering what we've seen so far, we're probably going to run across a warden then. Let's make sure we're as ready as we can be, then meet up with Zenkichi at the hideout. Damn it! All our goddamn stuff is gone.
Come in.
Oh, look at that.
Like this.
We have it all back. Oh, look at that. We have it all back. Look at that. Screw items. We have money. And with money, you have items. With items, you have health.
That's what you're getting.
And with health, you don't need SP. And without needing SP, you don't need to worry about it. When you don't need to worry about it, you're all good.
Come take a look.
You're all good in the hood.
Is this it? Thanks. Is this it? Come again.
I still can't believe we have 1 million yet. It also gets worse, but I can't say since it involves abuse. But hey, it's Latino culture, so it's not viewed as abuse. Slavic culture is very similar.
Take your time.
Trust
so
me.
That's what you thank you.
It's very similar.
Can you hope so that's what you can you thank you?
But like, if you grew up in a Slavic household that's old school, hell, your parents would have beaten you within an inch of your life at one point. Unfortunately, it's what happened to them, and so they use it as a means of discipline, even though it's very ineffective. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Oh my god, we're so close. I want to rub the Billy Ken's feet again and get another level. Billy Ken! Give me good luck, Billy Ken. Yeah! Now let's see what we can spend the burn points on, because we're not powerful enough.
Let's see.
Okay, we maxed out most of the things. Our SP is literally killing us. We don't have enough SP. But this only increases it by 3. That's not a lot. This increases MA for all party members affecting magical attack damage. That is good. Invading an enemy can grant... I use that very rarely. Guns? I mean, ammo count would help. HP... EN... I don't know what this is, but it's going to come in handy. Increase damage when performing a phantom dash. Damn it. We'll see how much extra ammo that has given us. I'll wait for the last one to unlock. That would be a spoiler. Okay, let's do this thing. Trauma cell time.
Get to work.
But let's see if I can buy more stuff from the shop.
This should be helpful.
Very
There's a
helpful.
fair happening.
Look at
Now's
that.
your chance to shower. You want things to
Oh my god, how did I get more money? My money's actually going up
fix the
now,
bench.
even though I'm buying crap.
You fix the bench. How many would you like?
No, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want... 50's
How many would
okay.
you like? You fix the bench.
I'm not going below 50. And I've got 99, 120.
How
many would you
Why am I
like?
even
You
doing
face
this
the
then?
bench. How many would you like? You face the bench.
Why am I even healing? I have potions.
How many would you like? You face the bench. How many would you like? You face the bench. You will face the bench. How many
Wait,
would you
Kuma,
like?
you have rank
face the
3
bench.
of the one skill that refills SP. How could you possibly be running low on SP? Because the SP skills that I have chew up around 30% of my SP. So casting 3 skills means I move.
You face the bench.
I mean, you spend 45 bomb points on 3 SP per fight. You should be rolling in SP right now. More SP than you know what to do with. Not really. If I'm fighting a lot of minions in between bosses, then I have SP. But if I'm fighting bosses and using SP, I have no SP. The high school Castle Kuma, fair enough. Sometimes in Discord server I'm in would sell free condoms from the nurse office for $5 US. It worked for them because they said most of the students were too scared to ask the nurse. Wow. Yeah, I think they were giving free condoms when on the open day at university. And I was like, fuck yeah, these things are expensive. And then you just learn to buy them on bulk. Like you can get 500 condoms for I think $60 if you buy them in bulk. If you buy them in like the 10-20 packs, you're paying so much. But if you actually buy them in bulk, they're so cheap. And the funny thing was, like, I had them in a drawer or something. And I don't know why, but like one of my mates or something was going through a drawer at some point. It's like, oh, you got condoms. Can I have some? I'm like, yeah, help yourself. And he grabbed like 24 of them. And I'm like, are you really going to use all those? Because every time we go out, you kind of strike out. I didn't say that, but I was kind of like, why do you need dozens of them? Kuma, Tigerian, first of his name, king of the annals and the first men, Lord Protector of the Seven Kingdoms, born to Viserys Tiger. Why are you doing this? What? The second of his name, the Visenya Tigerian in the year 113th year after Aegon's landing at King's Landing. Black of eye, black of hair, wed in his 13th years to his sister, Daenerys Targaryen. Crowned in his 37th year upon the death of his father. I don't get it. Imagine being that kid that went to the nurse every day for a condom. What would the nurse think? Like, every day? I don't think it's the nurse's job to question. I mean, if he was selling them, he might have even been getting multiple a day. Yeah. I would have just gone in and said, nurse, I plan to do it more than once. Can I have more? I mean, what's she gonna say? Don't have sex more than once per session? I mean, come on now. What if he's just using them as balloons? You know what oh my god, you're gonna laugh. We were in Darling Harbour and we were going to like the IMAX theater to watch a movie or something, right? And when any school does an excursion to watch a movie, it means other schools are doing it. To make a long story short, I brought some condoms and I literally, well, I didn't bring them. We were out on an excursion. I thought it would be a funny idea. So I went to a convenience store and I bought a small packet of condoms. And then I ended up blowing up the condoms and, you know, tying the ends because they're rubber. So they're a lot more durable than, you know, normal balloons. And so when I tied it, it looked like a giant, you know, like one of those clown balloons that you see at a circus. And so I was literally throwing them around with people. I'm like, you know what would be funny? We should give these balloons to those Catholic girls over there. They were from a Catholic school. So we went over there and it's like all females, right? So it's really easy to talk to them because they have next to no experience talking to guys. And we gave them these balloons and they thought it was really sweet. Meanwhile, the nun that was looking after them realized what the balloons were. They didn't say anything, but it was hilarious. Sorry, what was I doing now? I was doing the trauma cell? Yes, trauma.
Let's get to work.
One thing I never understood was, why do girls from Catholic schools smell like vinegar? Do they like use vinegar as deodorant or something?
We're here. This is the place.
That's an awfully big gate. His father was either very rich or it was like a boarding school or something.
So, this is Akira Konoe's family home?
Okay, let's see it.
Do you suppose Konoe's father still lives here?
No. He died 20 years ago.
Damn, because I wanted to kill him.
What?
Ow.
I found some police records of an incident that happened here back then.
Was he eaten alive by dogs?
A burglar forced his way into the home and stabbed Konoe's father to death.
Did it stab him in the face? Because typically that's what people do when it's personal.
How tragic.
Tragic?
Most items of value were gone, so it was ruled as both a robbery and a homicide. They never found the culprit.
And what did Konoe do? He lived here too, right?
He was 8 years old at the time, and was the only survivor. Apparently he managed to hide in a closet.
Apparently. This is going to be interesting.
If this is the birthplace of Konoe's trauma, we'll probably uncover the truth about his father's murder as well.
Wow, this is going to be... Is there a... what's it called? What's that time limit on crimes? We'll find out what happened.
Yes. Let's do what we came here to do.
I'm inputting the keyword now. Everyone, get ready to enter.
You know what's funny? This game looks really childish on the outside because it's all cartoony and it's about these phantom thieves that wear costumes. Meanwhile, it's actually very dark and very real.
This room. Are we inside the house now?
That's a lot of bloody handprints on the walls.
Looks like it. 20 years into the past.
Whoa, who's that?
Is that Konoe's father?
You little shit. What do you think feeds you every day, huh? I swear you're just a bill. All you do is eat up my hard-earned money.
Stop.
Don't talk back to me.
Somebody, please.
No, I can't watch this anymore.
Oh, look at Morgana. Morgana's fed up with this shit.
Keeping you around's a real pain in the ass. Maybe I should just kill you two.
Excuse me?
Two?
If she just handed over the money when I told her to. Nobody ever takes me seriously.
So they used greed for Mariko. Meanwhile, this motherfucker quite literally possibly killed the mother of his child for some money, even though he lives in this giant mansion. Guys, if we needed a greed demon, here he is.
No. Not Mom. You didn't.
Here he comes, enemy of evil, champion of those in need.
Ah. Makes sense.
Listen up, viewers. It's time to band together and call for Zephyr-Man, protector of justice. Zephyr-Man!
Guess I left the TV on.
Okay. I get it now.
Oh, here we go. The moment pain turns to rage, rage turns to hate, hate turns to...
There are no heroes. No one's coming to save me.
And the kid finally realizes how God works. He doesn't help you when you're in need, he just forgives you when you've helped yourself.
It's up to me. I have to become stronger. I have to.
Good. Good.
I'll kill him. And then I'll be the hero.
Nice and slow, kiddo.
What the fuck are you mumbling about, you freak? Not like it matters. You'll be joining your mother soon enough.
What you don't realize, Konoe, is that you've just broke the very thing that was stopping that kid from killing you. The fact that he still looked at you as a father, and the fact that you're the only thing he had left. In that little outburst of yours, you just revealed to him that you're the one that killed his loving mother, and all that pain has just turned to hate. And what you get when a child is filled with hate, with absolutely no restraint, no parents, and absolutely nothing to live for, is an unrestrained little monster that has no reason to not do what he wants to do. And what he wants to do in this moment is, oh, I don't know, rip you apart and dance on your corpse like it was a dance floor. Or possibly rip out your vocal cords and play them like a violin. Both are acceptable in this case.
I'll kill you! It's like I'm some kind of joke to people. You want to die? Trust me, I'll be glad to get rid of you.
You're not a joke to people, you're the joke. The fact that even with all your little money and mansions and suits, you're still filled with these crippling insecurities because that's all you have. A digit of fiat currency that's literally created on someone's computer. Yes, your entire life is a digital number on a computer screen. I mean, there's de-evolution and there's whatever you are.
This guy's sick! He really killed his own wife over some money? Unbelievable. That monster! How could anyone do something so awful?
You'd be surprised, kiddo.
Would you just die already? Your mother needs. Why don't you?
Watch out! He can still attack while it's moving!
Fire!
An incoming attack! Brace yourself! Don't forget your follow-up attack! Stop! Send it off with a super attack! What's wrong? Hammer its weak point with nuclear attack!
Wapo! Arset! Mitra! Principality! Naga! Kurama Tengu! Queen Ma! North! Pixie! Hisaka! Pixie! Hisaka! What? Arset! Mitra! Principal! Mitra! Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, got it! Kurama! Attack! One more to my club! Don't go messing with me! Out of my way! Right now!
This guy doesn't do a lot of talking, does he? I was kind of expecting him to say more. Wait, is this guy? No, not that guy. No, not that guy. I want to shoot that guy. There we go.
It's weak to nuclear attack. That combo strike was devastating.
Wait, I'm not locked onto it. What's going on?
You keep up that mopey little face like you're dead!
Wow! You're fantasizing about killing a little helpless child.
That thing's got a ton of firepower. Stay out of the crosshairs.
Yes, a lot of firepower against a defenseless child that's not even fully developed. You know what would be cool? Leaving you in jail and letting the other inmates know what you did to the child's mother. That would be very fun to watch. Every night they would just open the jail cells and the prisoners would take turns torturing you. It would be hilarious. The best part would be when eventually you start begging for mercy and screaming and crying like a little child. They'll say, "Oh, that's cute, isn't it? Now you finally understand how your little boy felt." And then they would continue doing it even more so. Now maybe they even grab a few pairs of gardening shears and go to town with you. Cut off a few limbs while they're at it. Little appendages. You know, there's a reason why most criminals in incarceration hate people that abuse children and women. You know why? Because a lot of them come from abusive households. There's a reason why there's a certain relationship between criminality, antisocial personality disorder, and child home abuse. They're not properly socialized. And I wonder whose fault that is, Daddy. I wonder, whose fault is it, Daddy? Who's in charge of that household? Who's the only one in a household that can beat a mother and a child? I wonder. A big man, that's who. An extra big man. Hey look, the big man's getting beaten by a little girl. How embarrassing. How does that make you feel? Angry? Do you feel angry? Oh no, he just got staggered. Hey look, you're getting hit by a cat. How does it feel? Hey look, you're getting run over by a cat. How does it feel? That's the real highlight of your career, isn't it?
The protector of justice? One of those things saved me?
So this is why Konoe was trying to become a hero.
Because no one was there to save him? That's terrible!
Throttle! Prepare yourself! Fist of justice!
Wipe that stupid look off your face! I call the shots, you shit!
Damn, this makes me sick.
No person that says I call the shots calls the shots.
Mona's attack power is lowered. Mona's retreated.
Take this.
Someone heal him?
Fire! Take this! I'm going to!
It's showtime! Right on the button, Joe!
Here I go! Gather up!
So that was Konoe's father. Konoe suffered all alone for so long. Sophie.
Is everyone alright?
No, no one's alright. We're all fucked up in our own unique way.
Better than alright. Feels great knowing we put that asswipe in his place.
Now, could I please watch his death scene and enjoy his cries? I need something to listen to when I go to sleep tonight.
Akira Konoe.
If what we just saw actually happened in the past,
Then Akira Konoe escaped an abusive childhood and avenged his mother by killing his own father.
Now here comes the real question, Wolf. Your instincts as a cop tell you that you should arrest him for murdering someone, but your instincts as a father tell you that you should protect him because he's an abused child. So what are you gonna do, Wolf? Your duty as a cop or your duty as a human being?
He must have framed the entire thing as a robbery in order to avoid suspicion.
Clever boy.
You're saying he's a victim of some high and mighty shitbag too?
No, he probably just replicated what his father did. His father probably made the murder of his mother look like a robbery. There's no such thing as coming up with something new. It's just based on something else. That's how the human mind works. It just forgets where the source material was from. Creativity is just really regurgitating something you've previously seen. So, yeah, that's probably how his mother died. They made it look like a robbery. And with all the money that we're talking about, it would have been easy to do. Ticks me off. Ticks me off. It really ticks me off. It really strikes a chord. And you can't exactly send him to juvie now. Would he be sent to jail? Well, it depends on the system. There is because we've sort of had this topic several times, and at least here in this system in Australia, the primary concern, the primary objective of criminal justice is 1, to protect the public, and 2, to dish out punishment for crime. So in terms of protecting the public, in terms of that particular crime, that wasn't a crime of premeditation, and the kid wasn't predatory. So you're not actually protecting society by incarcerating a kid that murdered a father that was going to kill him. Because in that particular circumstance, it can be interpreted that it was self-defense because the kid could have legitimately believed that his father was going to kill him. And that's easy to back up by the fact that he just admitted to killing his mother, and he said he would kill him. And he's already been an abusive father over the years, so there's absolutely no reason for the kid not to take his threat seriously. So in that particular circumstance, even if you tried him as an adult, which you wouldn't because he's still a child, but if you were in a fucked up situation where the prosecution, being the cops, wanted to try him as an adult because it's murder, because, cops love hitting their KPIs for putting people behind bars. Don't get me started on that one. You could defend the child by clearly saying that it wasn't murder, because murder relies on 1, premeditation, and 2, taking action. This was a form of self-defense in a state of high duress. He was being beaten. He had just discovered that his mother was murdered by his father, and his father was threatening to kill him. Those 3 factors alone make it go from murder to self-defense. And if you're pleading guilty to actually killing him, you're not saying that you're not guilty of the crime. You're simply explaining the reason the crime was committed. And if the reason the crime was committed was that your father instigated violence and murdered your mother and was about to kill you, that's not a crime out of your own intent and wishes and action. It's a crime as a result of what was about to happen. So technically, while you are guilty of killing a person, you didn't murder a person. You killed a person in self-defense. Now, I would like to believe in any legal system that such a circumstance shouldn't be punishable, because the person that did the killing is actually a victim. The person would actually need significant counseling and care to not only process that, but hopefully rehabilitate in order to be able to live a normal and fulfilling life. I don't think a person like that is a danger to society, because they're not going to go out and just kill people randomly. That's not their MO. What seems to have happened is that Konoe buried this because he had to. Right? You can't just go on the street and say, I killed my father. So he had to bury it. And being a child, he wasn't able to logically process it like I just did. He's got all these emotions bottled up. He was sad about the death of his mother, which is completely normal. But now he's found out that his father killed his mother, so he's filled with not only rage, but also guilt, because he would question whether or not he could have prevented it had he not been born. Because possibly the only reason his father kept his mother around was because of the child, who was him. And he killed the mother because of money, and he just said the kid was just, burning up the money that he worked so hard for. So it's not unlikely that he would blame himself for his mother's death, which fills him with guilt, sadness, anger, obviously hate, and that's just regarding his mother. Then you've got to process the whole fact that you've just killed your father, which he might feel some guilt about it, but he probably won't because he probably loved his mother more. Now here's the real kicker. Here's the real kicker. This is where it gets interesting. He'll eventually hit the point where he starts asking himself, had I done this sooner, could I have prevented my mother's death? What happens from that is survivor's guilt, where he believes had he killed his father sooner, his mother would still be alive. And that turns to, I am responsible for my mother's death because I was powerless. And I hate myself for it. And that turns into power. I need more power. And that turns into, I need control. I need power over others. That turns into, humans are savage. Humans are impulsive. Humans are dangerous. Humans don't deserve the free will that they possess because they abuse it. That turns into humans don't deserve free will. That turns into I will take their free will and let them live so they can't hurt each other. You know, it spirals out of control. You see what I mean? It just spirals out of control. Now, I could have missed the mark and the sequence, but you can see how dangerous something like this is to a child, particularly a child that hasn't grown up yet, a child that is forced to deal with all these emotions, all these thoughts, without knowing how to process, how to contextualize, how to rationalize, and how to deal with them. He's the victim. He's a byproduct of his upbringing and the abuse that he had in his household. And I'm willing to bet, and I don't need to bet because I know for a lot of times, a lot of the most heinous crimes that we hear about, serial killings, you know, predators, exploiters, all this stuff, it all stems from some form of trauma, whether it be in the household, whether it be at school, whether it be at church. And you've got this perfect storm, and then there's a catalyst that just spins it out of proportion, and it just turns into this rift that keeps growing. It consumes the person, and eventually they just become a monster. And I know they're a monster, but they just are. Now, yes, there are some people that are just purely psychopathic and they do it for the shits and giggles, but a lot of people did not start out bad. They just were put in shitty circumstances and no one helped them. It's as simple as that. And that's the tragedy. We don't help people. Even we saw in the flashback, the kid talked to someone, and that someone didn't help, and the kid just got beaten. And that turned into no one's gonna help me. There were probably countless opportunities for adults to help this kid, and no one did. Whoever that person was, whether they were a counselor or a relative or a trusted adult, they failed in their responsibility as an adult to protect a child. It doesn't have to be your child. We as a society need to protect the kids within our community, because eventually they will grow up and they will impact the world around us. So by ignoring it now and not doing anything, it will eventually affect us whether we wanted to or not. It's that fucking simple. And without dragging on too long, because I do go on these tangents, if we can put it in a modern day contextual society scenario, where most people don't give a shit unless it affects them personally, I will give you an example now that I'll just pull out of my butt because that's what I do best. People migrating from the second or third world trying to find opportunity in a new country, right? How do we view people from other countries? How do we view asylum seekers, refugees, and let's call them undocumented migrants? Some people view them as people seeking a better life. Other people view them as less than human. What happens to these people? They struggle, they get incarcerated, they get separated from parents, and even if they're accepted into the country, they get put into poor socio-economic communities with very little opportunity, where teaching is subpar and substandard because teachers aren't paid enough, schools are underfunded, and they can't do anything about it. These kids grow up with absolutely no opportunity and do anything they need to do in order to survive because it's all they can do. So they end up, turning to crime, or turning to questionable or, sort of unethical business dealings. And then we just say, oh, all these people are bad. As opposed to treating people like humans, giving them opportunity where they can thrive, where they can study, where they can bring value not only to themselves and their family, but later on give back to the community. That same kid that turned to crime or turned to drugs or turned to whatever could have been a doctor, could have been a teacher, could have been anything. But because we treated them poorly, we ignored them and we deprived them from the opportunity to grow and make something of themselves and give back to society at the end of the day, they're unable to. And instead of being filled with gratitude to the community that took them out of a horrible life and gave them a better life, they're angry at a society that has everything but won't even give them a little bit. It's the equivalent of you having dinner and you have a full table with more food than you need, and you've got someone outside that has absolutely nothing who's starving. And the scenario is you either pull down the blinds and turn on the sprinklers or release the dogs so the kid gets out of your yard, or inviting the child to the table and giving them dinner. What do you think is going to have the better impact long term? That's effectively what you get. Now scale that to a society of billions of people. And that will explain why society goes to absolute shit and why some kids feel so hopeless that they join extremist organizations that abuse their anger and weaponize them and turn them into what they believe is martyrs for a cause that doesn't care about them. You want an explanation for, and I'm going to say something controversial here, you want an explanation for kids rocking up to school and lighting the place up? Do you want an explanation for extremist organizations that want to bring down society? Look at the fucking mirror. And it all starts in the fucking household. And at the end of the day, it can change the world. And that's what you have with Konoe. Everyone loves to point the finger and just say some people are evil. No, they're not. No, they're not. I've seen plenty of evil people. I've had the opportunity to pick their brains and get into their little thought noodle up here. And at the end of the day, evil is just an easy way to put a sticker on something that we don't want to understand. It's just easier to label it evil or broken or, you know, do not touch. Because it means we don't have to accept responsibility for any of it. Anyone could have stopped this household abuse from happening to Konoe. No one did. So the kid was forced to fend for himself, and the kid thought and tried to do what he thought was best. Not his fault. We're actually lucky that he, at the very least, isn't turning the country into a goddamn dictatorship where everyone is a slave while he's, you know, doing his own thing. Yeah, he's a kid who's going through a superhero complex where, you know, he's embodying what he grew up looking up to as a child. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. We had one such abused child that quite literally started World War II and killed millions of people. You want to look into some of the biggest monsters in history? Let's psychologically analyze Hitler. He was the child of his uncle. That's right, incest. He was abused. He was abused. And then when he turned for guidance, he got guidance from people that taught him about the Zionist conspiracy. So he grew up blaming Jews. It also didn't help that the first crush he had was a Jewish girl that probably said something and rejected him in a way that was not gentle. And so that turned into hatred. And what we got many years later was the very monster that we learn about in the history books. But no one tells you his origin story, because that would be a little bit inconvenient, wouldn't it? Let's look at Stalin, another such monster. He was a choir boy from Georgia. That's right! The world's most famous Russian wasn't even Russian. Well, you know, I mean, Hitler was Austrian, so the world's most famous German isn't even German, but, you know, what would I know about history? He was heavily abused by his father. He never got the opportunity to study properly, so he became a brawler. Then he found a father figure in Lenin, and he became his right-hand man, or his right-hand fist. He wasn't the world's smartest person, but he knew how to use his fists. He was an enforcer. He was in and out of, you know, incarceration and that sort of thing. He was arrested multiple times. And then when Lenin's health started to decline, power was supposed to be split amongst several people. Now Stalin, who spent all of his life beating the shit out of people to keep them in line and making Lenin's dream become a reality, figured, why the fuck should I share this with these fucks? I'm the one going out there, you know, cleaning the blood from my fingernails and my knuckles, getting beaten, getting arrested, doing all this shit on the street when it's cold, while you fucks are just sitting inside the office, writing on pieces of paper, and you're gonna share the power that I've literally spilled blood for? So you know what he did? He fucking killed them! And then he took over that whole dream of communism. And you got the Soviet Union! It's a bit awkward, isn't it? When some of the biggest monsters in history are just abused children who lacked directions and were weaponized by adults. What do you think was gonna happen? Oh, but what could have we done? I don't know. Any of the priests could have taken in an angry, hurt child and raised him. Oh, that's too much work. Oh, okay. Any of the police that arrested him could have sat down with him and asked him, look, what's wrong? What's up? Nah, it was just easier to lock him in a cage and take a few photos, right? And then throw him back on the street a month later. It's a bit awkward when you have to take responsibility at the end of the day, whether you like to or not. So yeah, I have a particular soft spot for these type of things. Because I know what it feels like. And it sucks, and it's not fair. But you've got two options. You can either wallow in misery, crying that life's unfair, or you can play the hand that you've been dealt. And it's not easy, because it involves making the decision to accept responsibility for your life, which is a very difficult thing to do, because it's much easier to blame other people. Now, while you can't control the circumstances in which you enter the world, you can definitely somewhat control the circumstances the way you leave it. And the way I want to leave the world is making it a slightly less shittier place than it was when I got here. Now, I've definitely got my work cut out for me, but I would like to think in some way that I leave behind a little bit of positivity, a little bit of guidance, and a little bit of empathy that people out there aren't alone. Because I didn't have live streamers and let's players that I could vibe with who understood what I was going through. But most kids nowadays do. So I'm hoping by sharing some of this experience, it stops people from going down a very sad and dark path and actually motivates them to take control of their lives and get a bit of happiness. I get it. Life's been shitty so far. But it gets better. You just gotta work for it. And it's gonna suck. And I get it. I fucking get it. I had to move out when I was 18, 19, working 2 jobs to pay the rent so I had a roof above my head, eating cans of tuna. I spent Christmas Eve in a 7-Eleven fridge building the bloody railings where the cans of Coca-Cola and Monster Drink go. Those fucking fridges are like so cold, and I was in there building them on Christmas Eve so I could pay the rent. I get it. It sucks. But life gets better. You just gotta keep going. Alright, let's continue before this takes a whole tangent. I just wanted to wrap it up in a nice way so I don't leave people thinking you don't get it. I get it. I really do. I really do. We have a lot more in common than you think. There's a reason we're on the internet playing video games. There's a reason why this is what we do on Friday night and Saturday and Sunday. There's a reason for it. We have a lot more in common than we think.
He must have felt so trapped. There was nobody he could turn to.
So he set out to become his own hero. And the power to change hearts helped him do just that.
It's just too sad. There had to be another way. There just had to.
Hey, cool it. Whatever his past was, it doesn't justify what he's doing now.
I can empathize with Konoe. I can empathize with a lot of the antagonists within Persona. It's just that I don't accept their excuses. A lot of them give you their sad origin story, and in some way they understand that they're a victim of their circumstance, and the impulse is retribution or, you know, putting yourself above others. But then you're also choosing to ignore that little voice in your head that knows you're just perpetuating the cycle. And yeah, I get it, that voice might not always be the loudest voice in the room. But I know that you know that I know that you know that voice is there. You've just chosen not to listen to it. So I can empathize with all of these circumstances, with all of these antagonists, all of them, Shido, Akechi, even that guy that, you know, the fat bug guy, right? I can empathize with them, but I also have to call out that at a certain point, they made the decision to ignore that voice. So yeah, I get it. But I'm also calling out that you are partially responsible for your decisions. And you gotta accept that. And until you do, there's no changing. Kaneshiro, I'm not 100% sure of his origin story. I can't pick it up from the back of my mind. There would probably be something there. There could be something there. But I don't know what it is. It could be something as simple as, you know, I don't know, someone that, I don't know. There's a lot of these origin stories. But a lot of people know that what they're doing is wrong. They just do it. Kaneshiro was probably a guy who had nothing as a child and now he has power and wants to flaunt it. That's my initial thought was that he could be someone that went through a rough time in school and as a result he wants to be king of the place, but he never could be. So he's stuck living that childhood fantasy of wanting to be top dog at a school even though clearly he's an adult. You know, that could be it, or it could just be a projection of some sort, or I could be grasping at straws, but there's always a reason behind something. There is always a reason. Even if you've got someone that's purely psychopathic in that they are unable to empathize with other people, that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go out and do terrible things. It just means they lack that empathy. But they can still rationally empathize with others. So they could rationally think, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this because that might hurt. So while I don't understand the feeling that you're currently feeling, I can understand, ooh, that would hurt. Or ooh, I wouldn't like that either. You know, sort of thing. So, at a certain point, you gotta call it out. Well, Kaneshiro, we are told he was really poor and bullied because of it when he was younger. So now he has money, he feels safe. Oh yeah, that's the bug guy. I thought we were talking about Kamoshida. That's what happens when the names look so similar.
Nothing makes it okay for him to take control of people against their will. If we don't stop him now, more and more people are gonna get hurt. You're all thinking the same thing, aren't you?
I think everyone's thinking a different thing in their own way. It's not that simple.
Sure. But you're all still set on doing this, right?
Right. If we don't stop him here, then nothing's ever going to change.
I think it just struck me really quickly. I think someone said something like sadistic Kuma is entertaining Kuma or something of the sort. But I think that sadism towards terrible people is not the satisfaction of watching them suffer, but rather the satisfaction of taking away that strength which they rely on to abuse weaker people and watching them finally realize and forcibly empathize with their victims. And in that moment when they're broken and they're down and they're begging for mercy, they forcibly are in the same position they put their victims. And in that moment, you have the ability to tell them, so how do you think underscore felt? And I think in that moment of being helpless and weak, they can finally understand. In a very sick way, it would be very therapeutic.
Let's do everything we can for now.
While it's true we need to change Konoe's heart, let's not forget we also need to save those whose desires he's stolen.
And it's time we bust out the calling card.
Oh yeah! That's kind of your thing, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll change his heart and take back everyone's desires.
Okay, let's head back to the car and come up with a plan.
I'm running on empty, man.
Behold! A saucy, zesty masterpiece!
Ain't nothing better than this. Get out, dumbass! Here you go, my treat!
Yes!
So good.